It's round 4 of the Sixtysimthings GT3 League Season 4, and this time we're off to Monza, where I show you various ways in which you can throw your race away, and this time it's not all down to me, or as some are. Anyway, if you want to see what happened, watch the film and find out. Hello and welcome to another episode of Wolfie's Wheels. Today we're at Monza, which is situated in northern Italy, fairly near to Milan, probably about an hour's drive away from the international airport. You'll probably be familiar with the Milan circuit, but for those who aren't, it was first used for racing in 1922, and it's undergone many iterations and changes to the circuit in that time. And in fact, it was at the time of opening in 1922, the third circuit in the world after Brooklands and Indianapolis. So it's known as the Temple of Speed affectionately for very good reasons. There's an awful lot of history here. Anyway, the Sixtysimthings Sim Racing League decided that they'd have round 4 from here. And how fast are we, etc., etc., with the usual recap here. The real life lap record is 1 minute 47 something. I think the very fastest sim racer is 145, 144, 145. I'll put it in as usual. Our fastest guy was, as is usual, Will Racing, who did a 148. And my time was a 152. So, I mean, I'm normally somewhere around 3 to 4 seconds off of Will's pace. So whilst I am slow, it was for me a fairly normal circuit. I said at the first intro that there were maybe a couple of ways in which you can throw your race away, and you'll have to watch the film to see just what happened. I certainly threw mine away, but I wasn't the only one. So buckle down, sit down, buckle in, and enjoy the film. And we'll start off looking at the grid positions, and in pole position is Will Racing in a number 5 BMW. Taking second slot on the grid is Stuart Charles in the number 722 McLaren. Third place goes to Andy Policott in the number 13 Lamborghini. Steve Hancock takes the 4th slot on the grid in number 98 BMW. Mike Hansen takes the 5th spot in the number 56 Aston Martin. I take the 6th spot in the 296 Ferrari, number 27, and David Blythe is at the back of the grid, number 57 BMW, again not competing in the championship but is participating in the race, so is started from the back at his request. As usual, we'll start the first lap with the helicopter camera coming up here at the start of the race, and we're going to be following Stuart for this first lap in the 722 Cornwall Cottage Racing McLaren. Hopefully this will enable us to see most of the cars in the shot all at the same time, which is sort of the plan. Here we coming up to the lights, go, go, go. Come up, first hotspot is the Rettifilio chicane, which is the scene of much carnage on public lobbies in Assetto Corsa. Not really easy to go too wide, it's quite a slow corner. Last overtaken there, number 98, and we come out of the Rettifilio chicane, round the Grande curve. You can just see me in the background about to be overtaken by David. And around the Grande curve and into the Della Roggia chicane. Left followed by right. We then take Lesmo 1, and then we come round into shortly thereafter Lesmo 2, and you can see Will's already pulled out best part of the second lead. Straight here with a slight kink that does have a name that I can't remember. Go along here under a bridge. After that you've got the Ascari complex. Chicane, left, right, left, another straight. The wheel's now 1.6 seconds ahead, and the next curve is the Parabolica. End of this straight, Stuart right up on Steve there, and round the Parabolica. On the right in a second you'll see the pit entry just there, and then come down over the start finish line to complete the first lap. Let's carry on with this just for a little bit because it looks like there's a bit of action. And here we go, coming into the Rettifilio again. Steve very nicely puts it up the inside of Stuart. As usual, we'll then come into a lap from my perspective, coming up to the lights here. Here we go, flagged away at green. You do get a completely different perspective from being inside the car than you do looking at the helicam. It all looks so much closer when you're actually in the car. Brake hard. Don't want to take anyone out at this chicane, as I said, it has notoriety. Cold tyres. Here we go, bad exit, and that enables David to come out and try my best. Give it everything I can around the Curva Grande, but David is a faster driver than me, and inevitably, of course, he does come round. Yeah, braking into the Della Roggia. Is he going to outbrake himself? No, of course he isn't, far too experienced. Left and right. Throws dirt in my face. I'm a 7-stone weakling. And then into Lesmo 1. Brake, Lesmo 2. David gets dirt thrown in his face just to show he knows what it's like. Now along straight. Under the bridge 1. Under the bridge 2, marshal post brake. Left. Right. And left. I can't really get that right in this Ferrari because it doesn't take the curbs very well. Other cars are much better through there. And we come down straight into the Parabolica, brake about the 100-metre mark. Tuck it in on the power about where that marshal was, and we go and complete our first lap of this race. We actually jump on board now for that first lap with Steve because he had a real action-packed and tight first lap. So what it looked like from his perspective with his fight against Stuart. Good start. Moves across to the right. Brake lights on, brake. So out braking Stuart into the Rettifilio. Keeps it together, gives plenty of room on the left, and out around the Curva Grande. You can see Stuart in the background. Steve's quite close to Andy as well. Good lapping. And the Curva Grande into Della Roggia. Left, right, under the bridge, into Lesmo, turn in, Lesmo 1. Brake about there, Lesmo 2. As you can see in the background there, Stu's not been dropped off. Stu's having a great drive in this first lap. Under the bridge, marshal post brake. It takes much more curb than I can. The BMW is very good on the curbs. And comes out onto the straight just before the Parabolica, but in the background you can see looming large is Stuart. And what happens saw on the other one. There you go. Slightly door open, doesn't need a second chance. That's how Stuart is through. A rat up a drain pipe. Straight through. Very nicely done. But Steve's not going to give up. Fighting to the end. Over the line. He knows he can outbrake into the Rettifilio. The McLaren's brakes are not as good as the BMW's. And he does it again. Slight contact. And we'll just take a passenger's ride with Stu through the back end of that. We're coming into Ascari. Left, right, left. We're not letting him go. Some good close racing here. Parabolica, brakes. Oh look, there's a gap, I love that. Yep, I'm in there. Just out dragged down to the start finish line. Obviously if that was the last lap it would be a great move, it was a good move anyway. Over the line. Look at it from the outside. From a TV cam perspective, go in. So, it wasn't slight contact, I was wrong, I thought it was slight contact. And out the other side. And we'll stick with the TV cam for a little bit longer. We watched David Blythe chasing down Mike Hansen. It's all very close. Even I'm still in the same shot. Round the curve, curve grande. Looking up the inside. Very close. Della Reggio. No, can't do it. So. And we'll just show exactly the same sequence from the perspective of being in with David. It all looks very tight and very close to me. And while all this goes on, the battle between Stuart and Steve continues. Coming to Della Roggia. And he's not giving up, isn't Stuart? It's all very slight mistake there from Steve. Bounces out a bit. Into Lesmo. Round into Lesmo 2. Can Stuart do anything? A little bit wide. I mean, Steve's really pushing it here. But ultimately, no. I think it is. Stuart's just going to have to stay where he is for a little bit longer. And in the meantime, David is still pushing hard. Coming over the line, is not letting Mike go. Moves to the right. Hits the brakes. A bit late maybe, I don't know. Let's see what happens. No, he can't quite get it stopped in time and he cuts through and out the other side. Now we're going to ride on board with Will Racing, who's the fastest man out there, who's in the lead. After 4 laps is almost 12 seconds ahead. And kind of show you this is how our best driver does it. I say our best driver, the best driver on the day. And others may dispute who is the best driver. He's certainly very competitive. And I shall mostly be quiet, of course, through the lap. Watch out for the braking points on the brakes. Bosh, bosh. Slight little wriggle. Into Lesmo 1. Uses quite a bit of the curb, but could actually get away with using a bit more. To Lesmo 2. Again, using the track. the first bridge. Under the second bridge, marshal, bang, brake, throw it in left over the curbs as you can in the BM. Hit the curbs like that in the Ferrari, you would be off. And we're coming round now to the Parabolica. Nice tight line in. Foot hard down, drift it out. Go, go, go. We're going to cross the line in 1 minute 48.49 dead. Or 1:49 dead. We're now going to join the TV cams where we're watching all the action that's going on behind Will, which is sort of Andy in car 13, Steve in car 98 and Stu in car 722. And we'll just follow it round for a lap on the old TV cam and just enjoy the action. And I'm literally going to say nothing for the rest of this lap. No, I can't say nothing. You can see the other two in the background as well, which is David and Mike. You can see how the BMW rides the curb so well. Go over the line and there's about 1.1 seconds separating the three of them. And we've got Stu approaching the Rettifilio, not giving up. Try and go round Steve. Yeah, it's definitely a slight collision there. It was a brave move to go too wide Rettifilio. Unfortunately, Stu came off worse there. At the end of the lap, the three of them come into the pits all at the same time. And what's that's me in the background as well. I'm coming into the pits. So let's see if I'm not actually that far behind because we're all on the same lap. And if I can get a good pit stop, you really don't know what could happen here. I know I'm not as fast as the guys in front. And it's unfortunate actually that all three of us have come in at the same time because you can't see your pit box and it's a horrible situation to be in. Very quickly on board as I come into the pits. Am I going to get it slowed down in time? Going a bit quick. No, I've got this, yeah, pit limiter on in at 50. And then we'll change the camera so we're following the other guys in. It's a compulsory pit stop, everyone's got to do one for fuel, but look, you see I can't see my pit box, I have to pass through these cars. Andy's already out, I stop and then I have to go forward. So I'm up on the jacks, Stu's behind me and there's Steve. Hang on a minute, I'm out in front of him and Stu's still in the pits. Wow. Wow! So I actually come out of there and I'm actually ahead of two of the three drivers who were immediately in front of me. And another view of the pits. And you see Andy leaving. from there. Steve's in the background, Stuart in the middle. And then there you go, I'm out. And Andy's out and poor Stu is there. As it turns out, he had some hardware issues with the wheel and button configuration. It completely spoiled his race, really. Finally, managed to get it sorted out. Pulls out. Joins the fray once more. Meanwhile, we'll ride on board with Steve, who's in hot pursuit of yours truly. So I've managed to jump 2 people during the pit stops, both of which are faster than me. So for the rest of this race, I'm going to have to defend like I've never defended before to keep definitely Steve behind, and maybe Stuart. I'm not sure whether Stuart can actually catch up or not. So let's just ride on board with Steve for now. As we approach the Rettifilio chicane, he's managing to close right up, so I've really got my work cut out now. Meanwhile, David is about to go into the pits for his compulsory pit stop. So he goes into the pits, all well and good, no problems at all. And then this is his pit exit. Again, no problems at all. However, he gets overtaken by Andy Policott in car number 13, and after the pit stops are all shuffled, results of order is Will, followed by Andy, followed by David, followed by Mike, followed by me. And we'll now ride on board with Mike, who's not that far behind David. It's 0.8 a second. I think it's closer than that around the Escara chicane. And as I said earlier, David is not actually competing in the championship, so at this stage he pulls over to the side and lets Mike pass so as not to interfere with any of the championship results, which is very good of him. We'll jump on board here with Steve, who's still hotly pursuing me, and as you can see is actually really close. So as we're coming down towards the parabolica, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in slightly wide, let him round, and then I can hopefully push him into a mistake. So I don't take my usual line, take it out a bit wide, and disaster, absolute disaster. And Steve laughs his way past me. Looking at it from my on board, take the right. I'm not going stupid fast. I've made the decision to let him through, and I just lose it. End up right in the middle of the track, knowing that Stuart's coming. So I'm kind of thinking, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to get him running, get off the track, get out of the way. So I do that, pull over to the side, and there you see, any second now I get passed by Stuart, who again must be laughing. Let's look at it now from the TV cam, slightly slowed down. I mean, I'm never embarrassed by my mistakes. You know, it's one of those things, it's all part of driving. Take it, I really don't know what has gone wrong here. I'm just slippery there, and I think that's not normally where I would be driving. So, into the barrier, there you go, damage to the car, and engine stalls right in the middle of the track, making me sort of slightly worried. And now, let's watch it as it unfolds from Stu's point of view. Yellow flag, what's going on? I can hear him laughing from here. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm pretty well guaranteed a 4th place up to then. And that was pretty much it until the end of the race. I'm going to be in last, and I should have been 4th. So we'll jump to the line, and we can just see Will coming across in first place. Well done, Will. Andy coming across, Andy Policott in the Lamborghini in 2nd place. good result. Crossing the line now in third place is Mike Hansen in the Aston. And then it all gets just a little bit confusing. We're on board now with Steve in fourth, and he seems to be slowing down. Do you know what? I think he's run out of petrol. I don't know. I mean, I know nothing that's going on because I'm miles back down the road. But yeah, so he's what? It's not even going to make it across. Is into the pit lane. And David's pulled off in front to avoid getting involved in the results. But I'm sure that if Steve can just make it to where the rostrum is, he could probably score. But no, he can't make it that far. Here we've got Stu carving his way through. He probably can't believe what he's seeing either, so comes across fourth. And then there's me in the injured Ferrari, knowing nothing about all of these shenanigans, and I just crossed the line in what I believe to be last place and kind of pull over. So there you have the very eventful, for some, round 4 from Monza of the GT3s. I mean, poor old Steve running out of fuel. I mean, that was unbelievable. Stu had problems with his hardware and couldn't get out of the pits. And then, of course, I was sort of pretty well guaranteed a good finish position, and I threw it all away while trying to sort of overthink my strategy of moving slightly out of the way, going offline and letting somebody come past. So that sort of didn't work, but I do like my theory, and I think, you know, I have no problem with letting faster people past and hoping that I can force an error. Anyway, here is confirmation of the results. In first place we have Will Rayson in the BMW M4 GT3. Second, Andy Policott in the Lamborghini Huracan. Third, Mike Hansen in the Aston V8 Vantage. Stuart in fourth in the McLaren 720. Me in fifth, unbelievably, in the Ferrari. Steve in sixth in another BMW. And David bringing up the 7th position, as I say, is not participating in the championship. So how does that leave the overall championship? Well, I'll just flick it up on the screen now and we can see. And after the 4 rounds, we've got Will Rayson in first place, Andy Policott in second, me unbelievably in third, but only just ahead of Mike Hansen, who's only 3 points behind, Steve Hancock, Stuart Charles, Andy Gore, Bob Jones, David Blythe and Craig Thomas. So we're now going to move on after this one to round 5, which is from Spa. Mrs. Spa. You've got some Spa specialists, and I ain't one of them, so that will be quite interesting. So I do hope you enjoyed the film. Thank you so much for watching. It just leaves me to say that's it. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, share it, tell your mates. You may even want to subscribe, it's up to you. I don't get anything out of the channel in terms of financial rewards, so it's your call. And that's all there is really to it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Our Wolfie's Wheels. Bye.